Will Hawk and Chark step up? St. Town sits. St. Brown, really.
I like that.
What is going on with Chark and Hawk? And Amani, let's throw him in there. What the hell is up with these guys?
We're just throwing Amani in there, man.
I'm gonna throw him in there because the regression from Amani is insane. I did not expect this. Hawk is like barely getting used. He's regressed, and DJ Chark is, he's there. Like what the hell? What's going on, Dose?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, and it's unfortunate with Chark specifically because he was so big all training camp. And it just feels like we haven't been able to get that like one shot to him. But at the same time, I don't think he's been bad. I mean, I don't think he's been bad for us. I just feel like we've missed just by a little bit, a couple shots. Last week, it was good to get him going early, but then he only had the 2 receptions on the day. So I feel like he's going to continue to come around because this offense, like we saw last week with their run game, man, the play action is becoming like such a big part of it. He'll come around, I think. Hockenson is a weird one, man. Hockenson is a weird one because I think his blocking's getting better. I think, from what I see, it's like, oh, that looks pretty good from Hawk. But it's always been up and down. It's always going to be up and down, I think, as a tight end. Like, you're never going to be able to rely upon him, like, locking up a DN. And then the pass catching, it hasn't been great to start the year. But would I say he was bad last game? I don't think I'd say he's bad last game. It's just opportunities weren't. He didn't have that many opportunities. You can go on your boy Amani because you wanted to throw him in there randomly to the offensive discussion.
I don't know what's going on with Amani, man. Like, I like Amani, and the fall from grace has been crazy. It's like he decided to switch with Jeffrey Okudah. It's like, hey, guys, let's switch games. And then they just threw elements at each other, and they became different. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's still injured or what. I want him to get better, but he should have been benched last game with the 6 penalties, 5 and he was been awful. So hopefully he can get it together. What do you think? Do you think he's drugged? Do you think that he didn't eat his Cheerios like the last month? What's going on with Amani?
Yeah, that feels probably what the answer is. I mean, there's probably a lot of things you could point to, but it's probably that he maybe bought the wrong type of milk, which is possible. Sometimes you get the wrong percentage. Hey, there's 5% milk. Is that what that's going to throw you off. You get 5% milk, it's a wrap, man. I don't know what he's drinking. He's got so that feels legit. That's probably what's going on with the money. It's probably the milk situation. But I will say this. When Jerry Jacobs gets healthy, I think there's going to be a legit competition. I don't know if they will ever make competition out of this year.
It's Jerry's job.
To me, I thought Jerry was a better corner last year. But to me, I would make it a very legit competition. Like, hey, you guys are fighting for this spot. I don't think the Lions will, though. I don't think the Lions will. I think they'll rock with Amani.
I think it's got to be JJ's job, man. The guy is a stud. He has done a phenomenal job with his body. Met him in person. He is built like DK Metcalf. You just don't know it. And like, this dude's a stud. I can't wait for him to save us in the secondary right there. It says, hashtag Mike for president. Are we cursed with the second-round picks? Yes, we are cursed. And I've been trying to do human sacrifice for a while. I've been trying to get other YouTubers like DoseOfDion and Curtis Steele, get TAAG. I wanted to find somebody to sacrifice to the gods to remove this curse for the second round, but it hasn't worked. For some reason, they're not replying back to my DMs. And he's not going to answer. So, yeah, we are definitely cursed.
To sacrifice, man. What are we supposed to sacrifice?
We got to sacrifice somebody. We got to find somebody to sacrifice. And we got to take one for the team. Yes, we do. Dose, your boys in the first pick'ems from you start week 1. When will Levi be a starter? Does even Levi play this year, Dose? Do you even think he plays this year?
I would say he plays a little bit at the end of the year, man. I got to keep faith in him. They didn't put him on IR immediately, so I don't want to count him out. But do I think he'll start this year? No, I don't think he'll start at all this year. But I think he'll play this year.
We need to get the production out of him. I've lost faith in Levi and Wuzurike because of the injuries, and I'm being real here. The chronic back pain is something that I deal with, and it just doesn't go away. It's not something that gets better, so I'm sad about that. I think Pascal, though, he probably will. I'm just going to assume maybe after the bye week. What do you think about Pascal? We need him in there. I want to see him as well play.
Yeah, I think that's it's even more crucial to get him without having John Kaminsky. I think it's gonna be super important. So depending on when those schedules lap, I don't know, but I think what Kaminsky brings is so much interior pass rush, and I think he's ready made. Like I think we've drafted guys like Rodriguez, we've drafted guys that have had multiple years of experience in college versus a Levi who had things that you knew you're gonna have to work with, but they had a high upside. He's one of those ready-made players to me. So I think you put him in as soon as he's ready, probably in a smaller role, and he brings to you some of what Kaminsky brought to us.
I don't know how you guys listen to us talk, but if you're listening, you might as well hit that like button. Go ahead and smash it. Let's get to 50 likes. We're 8 away. If you enjoy the pain of our voices, we'll be a little more pain. Smash that like button. We have to get Hock in the game, or how can we get Hock involved? How do we do it? You're gonna have to scheme plays for him to get it done. I don't know if it's Jared Goff not looking or if it's Ben Johnson. What do you think the problem is here with the Hawk situation? I think it's kind of scheme. What do you got?
Yeah, I think it's a scheme thing because I really don't think it's. Personally, I may be alone. I don't think it's an issue about the targets that he got, like specifically last week. I don't think it's a problem. I think he's a very big factor in the red zone. And that's where I expect to continue to see him. But outside of that, I think, we used him in different areas, but I think what you have more weapons now. So the idea is we get Chark on certain matchups. And I think we're doing a lot of things based on what the coverage tells us. I don't think we're always going out there with, we know the ball's going to this guy and this play is being created for Hawk. There were times last year where the play was just created to go to Hawk. I think we're doing a lot more what the coverage tells us, which is leading to, certain guys against certain matchups. Sometimes you get Hawk in the slot and the ball's going there. But I don't think personally, what do you think, Mike? I don't think it's an issue, the targets that he got last week. I thought it was fine.
I just want him to get involved. He doesn't have to be the main guy. He got a touchdown. Mm-hmm. I like that involvement. I like Goff throwing his way, but he is the 8th overall pick from a couple years ago. He is a matchup. He can be a matchup nightmare. So, yeah, he doesn't have to be getting 70, 80 yards a game. I don't need that from him, but I want to see him get involved. I want to see him get touchdowns. I want to see him get targets. He is a big body. And he is a target in the red zone. That's why we got this guy. I think it's sad to see a Brock Wright get the same amount of yards as a TJ Hockenson. I love Brock Wright, but we're talking about TJ Hockenson here. I want to see him involved a little. And with Amon-Ra St. Brown potentially being out, this is an ample opportunity for him to get that done. Yeah, everyone's got to get something at some point, right? Jerry Jacobs just tweeted he's back at practice, but a couple weeks out yet. John Kapler, should we draft a kicker in the 6th round? Hell yes, we should. Yes. Why not, man? If you look at the draft picks that we got last year, some of these guys ain't even playing. They're in the practice squad. You got Mitchell, he's being inactive. You got Chase Lucas, who's going to be inactive. Now we're going into year 3. Let's get some players that will be on the field, and kicker right now is one of those. And I know a lot of people laugh at kickers, except for you. You are a big into kicker, but they can win you and lose you games. So let's get the best freaking kicker in college football, throw him on this football team for the next 20 years like we did with Jason Hansen. We need to have a good guy. Kickers' lives matter. They do. Talk about kickers. I know you love it.
It makes me think of the Browns and a Cade York over there. I love the kickers, man, and you're right. You made an absolutely great point there, is that usually day 3 picks, they don't play. But a kicker, I would say, majority of the time does play. So as long as they're good off the field, they're going to play, and they're probably going to start. So why not? It feels weird in the moment because, man, look at all these dudes available, and you're getting caught up in names and things like that. But when you really step back, how many players in day 3 usually play? Not many. And we'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at next year. But I think if you come in to the draft thinking that is something that you need to add, it won't seem like why did we make that decision? And I feel like by where we can be next year or next year's draft, we won't. We can use. I think we're gonna have flexibility to use a pick like that. We won't need to go get a 5th running back or something in that round.
Now it's week 4 is coming up, and I know a lot of people says get a guy off YouTube, off the kick. Oh, you're talking about what's that kicker off YouTube?
I know who you're talking about.
I can't
think of his name right now.
I can't think of his name. He has tried. I actually is a legit kicker. Look, go ahead and draft your kicker. That's what it is. I can't even think of the name, but I know what it is. I have no problem with that. Getting like if Jack Fox was in the draft, you knew what he was. Would you waste a 6th round pick on him? Hell yeah, I would. I would draft Jack Fox for knowing the weapon that he is. So if you could get a kicker, yeah, destroying, that's what it is. So if you could get a kicker that is a weapon like that, yes. I don't have to worry. Okay, we can get that field goal. I'm not worried about missing it and freaking losing by a field goal. We win by a field goal. So kickers' lives matter. They do. Hashtag deaf guy. What the hell? What position do y'all think we're going to address first in next year's draft? Look, we're talking about week 4, and the draft is already coming up. And it's going to keep coming up. We know this, Dosa, as content creators. Looking right now, what we've seen, what position do you think we must address in the draft? It has to get addressed. Stop messing around.
Yeah, I'm thinking depending on how much we see of Levi, I would think DT or cornerback. That's kind of where I'm thinking. I love Aleem. I love what he's doing. Bugs would be great for rotational, and then we'll see where Levi. If Levi doesn't play, I think you got to look in that area because I think you get Aleem. You got Pascal's going to be like your defensive end with Kaminsky. Like you're going to have a nasty D line, and that's something Holmes will do. Or get a cornerback across from Okuda, knowing that Amani's not going to be under contract. You got Jerry. You got all those guys. I get in their corner.
What about quarterback?
I would say no. As of right now, I don't think the Lions will do it. I don't believe they're going to do it.
Where do you think? Well, let me ask you this question because where do you think we're going to be at in the draft right now? Where do you think we're positioned? If we're top 5, they're taking a quarterback. I'm just
for sure
that right now. But where do you think we're going to be at? Do you think we're a playoff team still? Do you think that we'll be in the 20s? Do you think we'll be in the 8, 7? Where do you think?
It's a good. Like I thought coming in we'd be a wild card team, and I think we showed that we can beat any team in the North. It's concerning that we lost that last one because I know how important it's going to be. But I think you come back and you beat Seattle like we expect them to. If they go into the bye really just playing the way they should, I think they should be 3-2. I think they're still a playoff team. So I would say somewhere in the 20s.